Whoa! Hi everyone and welcome to today's episode of Rotting Shadows. Is the stream still stable? Is it still running? Good, let's hope it stays that way, because last week we got killed a lot by the stream. So, yes. Hi. Before we go around and say hello to all of these wonderful players around our table, please take a hot second to check out these following links. First of all, there's no such thing as social distancing. We are simply practicing distant socializing. Nuanced different. Sounds a lot better, doesn't it? Sounds a lot better. We don't want our socializing at a distance. No, we want our distance to be social. So, yeah, that makes sense. Join us in the Discord. Come and talk about TTRPGs and other things. Join us in Twitter. Send me a DM on Twitter and I will get you a game. If you're currently sitting in my inbox and I haven't messaged you yet, that's because I haven't stopped streaming yet. Like today. Oh god, my mind's going crazy. And YouTube. If you're looking for content, we've got tons of YouTube content. Like hours and hours and hours and hours. Hours and 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 hours of content. So go and check out YouTube as well. We are very thankful to our sponsors. Please check out our newest sponsors are Dungeon Fog, who make beautiful, comprehensive maps that you can print out and share with your friends. As you fill in the maps, they dynamically create GM notes for you. It's a fun little feature. You can go and play with their free version, but if you decide to upgrade to Premium, why not? It's a new level they're making for me, Premium. It's like before you DM. No. 10% discount with the code Scratticus. Next, we have the Deck of Many. The Deck of Many is a donation reward today and also a Hype Train reward. You can donate to have it affect play. We also run their Humblewood campaign on Thursdays at 6 p.m. EST, where small woodland creatures try to save the forest from catching fire. Next up, we have Hero Forge. Hero Forge, with all of your magical multi-hued miniature requirements covered, head over to their website now. You can make a full grayscale version of these sorts of things at the moment. This is from their $3.1 million Kickstarter, which will be displayed very soon on the channel. They sent me an email, like, today, earlier. So, like, we'll get to play with the new prototype very soon. Also, last but most certainly not least, our longest running sponsor, Mage Hand Press. If you like D&D, if you like space, and all sorts of other expansions, you should check out their Dark Matter expansion for 5e, which is a space expansion, but also all of their PDFs are currently on sale for 25% discount to support distant socializing. Go and check that out. You can check out their Folio expansion on our Wednesday game at 6 p.m, where we invite 2 players every week to come and join us and play some Folio, Wild D&D 5e. I have said all of my pieces. Let's go around and say hello to everyone. Ray, why don't you introduce everyone? Oh, hi!
Oh, hi! Hey, I'm Ray. I'm with the Brick here and almost everywhere on the Interverse. You can find out what I'm doing on Twitter. I have a link tree there. There's other things. Go check that out. But enough about me. Let's go meet the party because they're all great people and I love them. We're gonna go to Riddler. What's that?
Oh,
I think
hi.
you're this way if I go this way. Yeah.
Somewhere on the screen.
Somewhere on the
Fingers
screen.
crossed. Hi, I'm Riddler. You can call me Devel or D or whatever suits you. I'm a musician, dungeon master, voice actor, streamer, just as much of a mess as that all sounds at the same time. You can follow me on Twitter, and I'd love to interact with some of you wonderful people, and I'm excited to throw dice, as always.
I heard
Yay!
talented individual.
Yes. Heck yeah. And let's go on down to the corner to Alex. Hey, what's up?
Oh, hi, I'm Alex, or Madam Gandalf. You can find me everywhere as Madam Gandalf. I do a lot of things as Madam Gandalf, including cooking, singing, D&D, gaming, painting, face painting, makeup, well, you name it, we probably have done it at some point. So come by and have a drink at my Green Dragon Tavern. And I'm really looking forward to playing Eva because I get to get the chaotic energy out of me a bit more than I normally do on a day-to-day basis. So, hey, that's always good.
I love it. I can't wait. I'm so excited. Perfect. Awesome. Let's go to the other corner to Anita. Hi, how are you? What's up?
Hi. I'm Anita, or Panita. You can find me on Twitter at Panita. Pretty much everywhere. I do streams. I do my own streams. I play in D&D games, and yeah, I love this game. I love the people in it, and this is definitely one of the highlights of my week.
And it's always a highlight to see everybody here. I love this game and I love this group. I love this channel. Yay! Let's go up to the wonderful and amazing, as always, Scrat.
Willy Wonka.
Yeah, basically.
I am Le Scrat. Insert Lestrade sounding joke there. I'm playing Barry Knight, a wizard who dumps int, doesn't have a single offensive or defensive spell, and with a full spell book. I managed it, and gets by just okay. Yeah.
Oh, he also better than okay.
He also has things. I'll be right back. I remembered I have things.
He does have things. And while Barry does that, I'll give a small recap of what happened last week. Yay! Last week you all were at Hugar's. He made a wonderful little fancy ramen dinner for you all to your preference and liking. You all sat around his table and had some riveting conversation during dinner. You talked about the disease going on. You talked about the Basilisk Cave. You kind of decided what plan of attack you would take. And Hugar kind of just entertained your conversation. You all bed down for the evening in a room that was tailored exactly to however your utopian room would be. Cassandra played chess with an apparition the entire night. It was wonderful and amazing. And by the time they woke up the next morning, the apparition was so sick of playing chess that it begged Finny to play instead. So you woke up, you had a nice little morning, and you traversed on towards the Basilisk Cave. You took your horses and rode up to the cave. You arrived at the cave in the mining camp, and upon arrival met two young gentlemen who didn't know much about the cave or what was going on because they were newbies, and told you to kind of go find the foreman. You sought out the foreman. His name was Grayman the foreman, and he is this burly, husky, short dwarf man with long silver hair and a nice top beard. He basically told you, hey, we found this basilisk. We cornered it in a part of the cave that nobody's digging in anymore. You're more than welcome to go take care of it. And if you take care of it, additionally to whatever you were promised by Hugar, which I don't think was anything at this point, you all have just been using his home. But he said in addition to whatever you may receive from Hugar, he would give you 50 gold pieces apiece for successfully taking care of the basilisk problem in his mining operation. So you were all standing in the front of the cavern entrance. It's about 15 feet wide, about 10 feet tall, and it goes as a long hallway in. Before you all separated, I'm going to retcon this in just so you all know where you're heading immediately. He told you that there is two separate sides. There's the left side and the right side. The left side has a ladder going down towards the Basilisk Cave where they had kind of cornered it in. And to the right is where you see all the other mining workers going with their carts to go towards the new operation that they have diverged into going to. So he has recommended that you take the left entrance, which has a long ladder down, and go in that way. But you are all standing right now in front of the cave entrance. What would you like to do?
Well, I suppose we should push forward.
All right.
Basilisk isn't going to kill itself, and cure for Cassandra's.
Did
We
we
need the Basilisk to do that.
did we come up with a plan for this, Finn, or are we just going to wing it? I mean, I'm fine with winging it. You know me, I'm a big old winger.
Well, a funny story is the only person that's martially capable in this group would be in a vial in Miss Umbermore's pocket.
Yeah. The best that I could figure out through my planning sessions that I had last night was we have numbers, we need to press them. Anything that we can use that can create duplicates to somehow draw its eyesight away from you guys, it will be very helpful.
Yes, illusions.
Yeah, and outside of that, I mean, you guys haven't stopped surprising me since I met you, so
Well,
you got this.
so much the better. I'm sure we can figure something out.
Hey, and if not, if you uncork the bottle, like ancient hellfire rains down upon everything or some shit, so go with that.
Who knows?
It pays to be unpredictable sometimes.
Quite. All right.
Is that,
Still,
and is that
something's
all, Cassandra? Is that...
It's the best that I could come up with. I mean, I've only seen you guys in combat once or twice. Although I've seen a couple of your shows, I don't know how well that'll translate when there's a snarling beast that can petrify you in front of you.
Yes. As I said, it's been quite some time since I've faced one myself.
Quick, could we have a quick huddle? Finn?
Certainly, if it makes you feel better.
No, quick huddle,
yes, Mr. Knight?
huddle. Come here. Cassandra didn't say a single mean thing. I think they're beginning to crack under the pressure.
Maybe she's keeping things bottled up.
I'm concerned for them.
I know, me too. All jokes aside, I'd be most glad to have her back.
Okay, let's go and get the basilisk, yes.
Yes. Sooner the better, I'm sure.
Yes, and that's right, everyone. Yes, me and Finn agree. If it does chase you, remember to run serpentine. Always confuse
Yes.
things.
S pattern.
So, we had a plan for this, right? Like 2 invisibles and things like that going on.
Yes.
Well, you have to make a choice. I can't maintain invisibility and big illusions.
That's fair.
I can concentrate. Hang on, what can I? Hang on a second. I'm gonna have a quick look here through my. Let me just. I start pulling out these like garage receipts, which is my spell book. Hang on a second. I've got something here somewhere.
No, that was me. 1 sec.
Yeah, no. I can create multiple images of myself without holding concentration, but I won't be able to create any major images.
Well, I could always make you invisible.
That's true.
Then all you have to do is worry about that one thing.
Oh yes, that's right. Yes. Yes. Hang on a second. Can you turn more than one person invisible, Eva?
Yes.
Because I can too. We could all be invisible.
We could all be invisible. We
Just
could do this.
Sneak right up to the thing, just take its gullet before it even knows what's happening.
The only problem is the moment we attack or cast a spell, I would assume.
Yes.
The invisibility.
We have to avoid its gaze, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I am saddened to do this. Do you think my cloak would be large enough to make a blindfold?
Not your cloak.
Because if we can all be invisible, the 4 of us, myself included, to include your garments, and then wrap its head in the thing very quickly.
My idea was that perhaps you could make an illusionary blindfold.
Well,
One that
yes, I could.
blocks the gaze.
Don't get
Not
me wrong.
necessarily
I
physical.
could definitely do that, but you know, triple redundancy and all of that business.
I suppose. Good a suggestion as any.
And imagine the frustration. Can you imagine? Oh, I'm wearing a blindfold. Oh, I've struggled for ages. I'll get the bloody thing off. I'm still wearing a blindfold. You know, I think that would be quite an effective... That we're playing mind games at that point.
Actually, not a terrible idea.
Not your worst.
I actually tend to agree on this matter. Strangely enough.
This is weird.
It's just weird enough to work, though. We're a ragtag group of misfits.
Slight problem is this doesn't have a power word. So any part of it that is not tied down will be billowing.
I mean,
Perhaps the club could be used to draw its gaze instead?
Like a bull. Like a bull to a red, like the color red.
Yes, it's the motion, obviously, but same principle applies.
Like a baboon to the like brightness of the butt, you know?
Yes.
It's a color thing.
Wait, what?
I feel like we're getting distracted.
I think so. I would have to agree. I think we're all very nervous, and I think we're all coming up with every plan we come up with is more ludicrous than the next.
To say the
Okay.
least.
But Ava,
Well, the only thing I can think of is something like a reflection of some sort. Is we don't have anything that's kind of like a mirror.
secondary basilisk.
Ray,
Yes.
how reflective is the bottle Cassandra's in?
Who's holding me right now?
Ava.
So you guys gonna take it and kind of look into it for a second as you mention it, and it's not like you're not in like a stainless steel container, so there's no like true reflection. But with the darkness of the liquid in the bright sky, you see a small tint of a reflection. But you assume in the cave, unless there is a grand light source, you won't get the same effect. It's not too reflective. It is just a normal glass vial.
I think that we've passed around some, I hesitate to say good, so I'll just say ideas. I think that the best plan that we have is Barry goes in, does what he does best with the illusions. You guys just try and stay out of its range and draw its fire. Most basilisks that I've encountered don't really have many ranged capabilities, although there are new mutations every other week, it seems. So be careful, stay on your toes, trust your instincts, and, when in doubt, Finny will stitch your arm back on.
I'll do my best.
Great. Major confidence. Mhm.
Stay on my toes.
Vito's. Just trying to look through what I have prepared today. I do have some spells that can hit it fairly hard, if it comes down to it.
Oh, yes, me too. I know all of the powerful ones, Mordenkainen's Meteor Shower.
Yes, Fireball, I'm sure.
Fireball, of course. I mean, what
Yes.
kind of
What
wizard would I-
self-respecting wizard would...
No
would
self-respecting
fire-
wizard.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Lightning
of course.
bolt, fireball, all of the... Yes, of course. Firebolt, another classic.
Yes, I know that one.
Acid splash, yes.
Yes, all offensive spells, none of which
Yes.
in your spell book.
They could be here somewhere. I start picking around the receipts and letters. I mean, this one right here. It's very useful. We have a hype train kicking off in chat. Thank you very much, everyone. The hype trains are rewarded. Level 1 gives all of us players 2 advantages, very useful for the upcoming Basilisk fight. Level 2 will gift Ray 8 disadvantages. Not very useful.
I have so many. I have so many.
I honestly, I haven't actually put all of the rewards on from So essentially, after all of if you remember last episode, the game ended early because of technical issues. Yeah, I ended up reinstalling OBS, and I had to rebuild all of my scenes. So I didn't go back and look at the VOD to see how many everyone needed. I could do that, I suppose. I could do that while we're live.
I mean, I don't remember Ray having any disadvantage.
I had none.
None. It's not like she had at least 30.
I had at least 10. There was at least 10 on my screen.
I'll go
very
back.
easily.
I'll go back and get a look. But the point
Oh
is,
yeah, no worries. Yeah, no worries.
the hype train is rewarded. So.
So as you all are planning, you do see miners coming and going, and as they are passing you, they are kind of give you like these cursory glances, like, you know, they're not quite sure why you're there, but they see you hushing in small tones, and then Eva said something about a baboon butt. Like they are totally kind of caught off guard, but they are kind of keeping a wide berth of you all as you are all kind of huddled around the ladder to go down into the first mining shaft.
Let us begin.
Yes. Perhaps proceed with a little bit of caution.
Just a touch.
Just a tad.
All right, so who is going first? What is the marching order for the climb down?
You said for me to go first and be illusionary, right? Well, I can. Of course, I'm the most illusionary illusionist of illusions.
It is definitely your brand.
Who's following Barry?
Oh, right behind Mr. Knight.
Alrighty, and then Eva. And Cassandra is still with Eva, correct?
Yeah.
Correct.
Alrighty.
So he was
as
in the back being hype man, you know.
perfect, yes. Like
Woo,
totally.
You can do this.
Yes.
Cast those illusions. Ow! Yeah.
Yeah, so as you start to climb down the ladder, you start realizing very quickly, Barry, that like you try to look down and the light that is cascading from above cuts off at about 30 to 40 feet. And past that, you can't see anything. And as you continue to climb down, you are now around 45, 50, 60. And you are now plunged in total darkness.
I do have dark vision.
Okay, cool. So you do get to see a little bit more below you in gray.
I imagine my eyes light up like cats do in the darkness. Like anyone who looks my way, that.
Yeah, you get that nice reflective tinge. I keep forgetting you're a tabaxi. So yeah, as you continue to go down, you're heading down now 70, 80 feet, and Finny following behind, you are starting to realize as well with your dark vision that it's dark, it's deep. This is a very long ladder. And Eva, do you also have dark vision?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, cool. And then Cassandra, do you have dark vision?
Cassandra can't see jack shit.
Okay, yeah, so Cassandra, everybody else is kind of maneuvering, and once you hit the 30 to 40 foot threshold going down on this ladder, you are plunged in darkness. Not only are you in a pocket now, but there is no external light reflecting. You are kind of in this black hole, essentially. And as you all continue to go down, it takes a good 10 minutes for you to get down to the bottom of this mine shaft. And you would assume, Finny, a learned mind, you're counting kind of going down, you assume you're about a quarter mile underground. And when Barry finally hits flat ground earth.
Once Finny hits the bottom, I'll pull out a torch and I'll use my firebolt to light it.
Cool. Perfect. So now there is a source of light that you can see and extend further.
Yeah, and I'll put up some dancing lights as well to... Oh, in fact, wait. I'm a bard. I could just light.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Oh, I like the end of my loot. I like the end of my loot.
Yeah, perfect. So now there is a glowing little essence around the end of Eva's loot that permeates, as well as the torch that Finny is holding. So now you are in pretty decent lighting conditions. You can see now around while we all roll perception checks to see what we see. Cassandra, you are included in that if you would like to be, if you feel like you can see with the light sources provided.
Great rolls.
Yeah, perfect rolls. Immediately what I anticipate. Okay. All right. Hey, okay. So Barry and Eva, you're immediately kind of caught off guard. You know, the stark difference from going from a very light environment to a very dark environment, while you are inhabitants who have dark vision, you still are kind of like acclimating to the environment as Cassandra, you know, is kind of bobbling around in your pocket. In what corners she's able to see, she sees the same things that Finny sees, and immediately as you turn around Finny and kind of like take a few steps into the room that you're in, you realize that you're in a very short kind of stubby hallway. It's about 7-8 feet long. It's about 10 feet wide until it opens up into a cavern room. This first cavern room, as you see beyond the little stubby hallway, is just a very long chamber, kind of very beautifully carved walls. Like you've read about mining operations, you've seen pictures of what they look like in your studies. This is beautifully carved out. Like the craftsmanship of what they were beginning to do down here is unlike anything you've ever seen. It's actually quite beautiful. And among the dark brown earth on the floor, you see like black crystalline walls that kind of like have the same sheen as onyx would, but it's not onyx. It's just smooth earthen cave wall. And every once in a while you see a glitter here, a glitter there from some of the moisture that's accumulated, some stalactites and stalagmites that kind of, you know, permeate this space. But all in all, this is just a very large cavernous room that you're seeing.
No sign of basilisks yet.
Maybe it doesn't exist.
That's
Don't like the
Do you
size
think we've ever been that lucky?
Precisely.
Well, I seem to have a good view of what's going on around here. Would you like me to take the lead?
Do you think that basilisk has a really cool name, or do you think it has a kind of a bit of a weird lisp name that I just can't pronounce?
Let's name it Thomas.
Thomas.
Thomas the Basilisk.
Thomas the Basilisk.
I rather thought it might just be called Basil.
Basil?
Basil
First
the
name Basil, last name Lisk.
okay. Dangerous monster. Probably like 45 feet from us.
I don't know, we've named it now.
Miss Knox, I think you would know that jokes cut the tension.
I don't know that the tension should be cut so soon, Vinny.
We're working on it.
I'm going to shatter the mood. Thank you very much, everyone. A level 1 hype train. Everyone gets 2 advantages. I've also updated the stream of last week's stuff. I just remembered as well that in the break we had a hype train, so we had a whole bunch more things. Ray has something like 16 disadvantages, but each of us has 5 or 6 advantages as well to counter that. So happy days.
Yeah, we got a lot.
Roll advantage for everything.
Yeah.
Basically.
All right.
Are we moving into the chamber?
Yes.
God in here.
Shouldn't we knock
Alright.
first?
Here, hissy, hissy. Here, hissy, hissy, hissy.
As you start to begin to move into the chamber, you do realize that it's about 35, 40 feet long. It's a very large open chamber. Finny, with that natural 20, you still see as you're moving into the room, you see some discarded mining equipment. There's a cart here or there with, broken down tools, couple wheels missing. It's dirty, it's dusty. You see some cobwebs kind of caked on everything that's left. Looks extremely disheveled despite the beautiful nature of the room. It's just a lot of discarded items.
All right. Looks like they had to stop their operations. Otherwise, this carving's quite nice.
Is there any way that Cassandra would be able to like help someone look for tracks or signs by sort of like just talking them through what they should be looking for?
Absolutely, yeah. As long as they move you within eyesight, you can roll perception checks and pick up things. Like you have your line of sight, so like as a person, as you move around, you can see everything. You just can't, touch anything, move anything, hold anything. But you can still see as you would in a normal range. Okay. So if you want to roll any perception or investigation, you are more than welcome.
Yeah, I'll ask Eva, say, darling, could you show me around the room? I want to see how close we are.
Oh, sure. And she'll pick up her bottle and just kind of...
Cool. Roll it for me. You rolling perception or investigation for this?
I would prefer investigation. And
okay,
I'd like
what do you
use an advantage too?
Absolutely, yeah. What are you specifically looking for? You said tracks?
Yeah, anything that would like key me in on, like tracks, footprints, anything that I would recognize as being the type of thing a basilisk likes in a nest, anything like that.
Perfect. Cool.
16.
Yeah. Okay. So as you ask Eva to kind of move you around and get close to the ground, and with the light sources move you and weave you into kind of the make of the room, you do pick up that there is 4 sets of tracks. 3 of them are humanoid, and 1 of them seems to be bestial.
As you're picking that up, Eva's probably just saying like, and so over to your left, you'll see just nothing and a little more darkness. And if we go a little bit further over to the right down here, a little bit more darkness and nothing.
Wait,
on the
right there. Tracks. We are close.
You see
hey,
something?
Everyone.
The
Yeah.
tracks?
Yeah, the tracks are here. It's probably not too much further than here.
Must be from where they chased it down.
I mean, do we need to worry about it? I mean, it's just tracks, isn't it? I mean...
Well, tracks generally lead us in the right direction, so let's follow them.
At least they're human tracks and not slither tracks, I guess.
Well, looks like there's some slither tracks.
Can I look around the structure of this tunnel / cave? Does this look like it's mining, like propped and shored, or is there any sort of like maybe burrowing look to it?
Yeah, you can roll investigation.
Oh, I'm not very good at investigation. Yikes!
Okay. Immediately in the room, you do see some mining scaffolding. You see kind of like the props of where they would be. However, beyond that, you don't see, even with your dark vision, you kind of move throughout the room and into the next kind of like alcove that you see. You don't see any of it continuing. It looks like only put up in this one area. The rest of it seems to be kind of like smoothed out by either a natural means or some sort of burrowing. You're not quite sure, but the rest of it looks smooth compared to like some of the rockier features very close to the ladder.
Well, good. Just human tracks then.
Let's press on. Shall we?
Yeah.
Let us.
Make like a sound that basilisks are attracted to or something, like... I don't like the idea of it choosing the, Isn't that a thing? Didn't someone say once that you should choose the battleground of the battle? Other people...
I mean,
Sometimes
yes,
you have to.
but basilisks don't exactly have fortified defenses in their nests. It's not going to spring a trap on us. Hopefully, if we move quietly enough, it won't even notice us coming. It'll be relaxed. Its defenses won't be bared just yet. We might be able to get an attack off early.
Sometimes you have to go with the hand you're dealt, not necessarily the hand you want.
So sure.
All right. Then we move forward, I guess, with everyone else.
Of course.
Right.
Let's carry on. I will stride ahead, cloak billowing. The vision
Yeah.
of confidence.
As you as you move forward, Finny, if you are leading this charge, you can make me either a perception with advantage, because you are all in one area, all your light sources moving forward gives you a very big ability to, see exactly what is in front of you. Or if somebody wants to help, you can roll individually to see if anybody picks anything else up.
I'll roll the perception check. Go with the advantage.
Yes.
25.
Perfect. Yeah. As you move into the next room seamlessly, your lights kind of move in, and you see that this cavern is not only wider and longer, but it is taller. It is about 50 feet across, and the ceilings on this one are about 25 feet. And as you move through it, very oddly, you brush your hand against the side of the cavern wall, kind of moving into the alcove of the next room, and you feel something on the wall that doesn't seem to appear natural. And as you look over and kind of take your hand off of what you had seen, there is a carving in the side of the wall. And the carving looks like a hand, almost exactly the same shape and size as your hand, with something in the palm.
Just a quick glance with the light to see.
Yeah. And as you kind of bring the light source closer, you're not quite sure, and you can't discern what's in the palm. The carving is primal. It is jagged. It isn't done with fine tools. It looks like it was done with a rock or some sharp object and forcibly made into the wall with resistance, heavy resistance. But you do see the outline of a hand, and that you are 1,000% sure is a hand.
And it's not realistic. It's very rough hewn.
It is rough hewn, but you can't discern whether that's because of the tools or the person or the symbol itself. It's just, you can tell only that it was made with some sort of shape object, and that they were doing it with a lot of force.
Okay. But it's obviously not someone who's petrified in the wall.
Yes. Yeah, you can tell that at least.
Bit unsettling. Miss Knox, what do you make of this? Sorry, may I borrow you for a moment?
Sure. What do I make of it? Does this seem like anything that would ping any blood hunter senses at all, or anything like that?
You can roll me a history check.
Okay. 15.
Okay. You haven't come across this exact symbol. However, in your travels and in your teachings, in your lifetime, you have come across symbols of other deities or idols that people have worshipped that do use a hand as their symbol, and that's the immediate kind of vision and image you're picturing in your head, or that, like, okay, maybe it's some sort of deities, some sort of iconography, deity worship symbol, but to who and what and why, you have no idea.
I think this is like a religious thing. Didn't we say these caves were abandoned before they set up the mining operation?
As far as I knew, yes. I'm not sure. I might have to ask the foreman a little bit more about this. It's very strange. It's almost like they dug too deep, too fast.
That they found something.
Hmm,
Question is, were they looking for it?
that's a good question.
I mean, what on earth could they find down here? I mean, I don't know of any tales where dwarves dig too deep and find something in the depths.
No,
Completely
none like
alien.
that.
Can Eva take a closer look as well since she's holding Cassandra over there?
Yeah, absolutely. Roll me a investigation. If you're just trying to perceive it, if you're trying to study it, if you're trying to discern any information about it, depends on what type of information for the roll.
I guess she's kind of looking for any signs of something kind of, I guess, more cultish or
Yeah, roll me Arcana.
Cool.
You get the sense that it's creepy. You get the sense that
gives me the heebie-jeebies.
yeah, that it makes you uncomfortable upon looking at it, but you have no idea what it may tie to, or if it's a cultish, or if it's divine worship. You have no idea.
Moving right along, I suppose.
All right.
We can ask questions about this later. I guess our most pressing concern is the basilisk.
And as you move forward through this cavern, as you start going towards the far end of this room, this large 50-foot chamber, it kind of like wraps you in a corner, almost like caressing you to move in a direction. It's comforting, but also extremely creepy and uncomfortable. And as you start moving in the direction of the next hallway that you see that there are little patches of bioluminescent fungus that are now kind of like ingrown in the walls, and there's some on the floor, and you see just some lichen and some moss starting to creep its way onto the sides of the cavern as you walk by, and as you come across with the light spell at the end of the lute and the torch that Finny is holding, you see that for a moment they fade in the light, and then as you walk back, the bioluminescence comes back, almost as if it is shrieking away or shriveling away from any source of warm light. And you move into the next corridor and chamber. And as you move into this hallway, Finny, give me another perception check.
Certainly.
Cool.
15.
As you move into this next kind of alcovey hallway, you see that it dips in a weird position to the left real quick, and then kind of keeps moving on to the right, almost in like a very quick pin turn. And as you kind of run your hands across the side of the wall just to make sure you're not missing anything, you see that the little alcove to the left kind of pushes inwards, and you feel, and there's about a 2-foot gap in the wall before you keep moving forward.
Like just a break?
Yeah, just like a break in the wall. It's about 2 foot wide, and it just goes in. You can't see much past that.
Has this struck me as like naturally formed, or does this look like worked?
Roll me. I will let you either roll nature or survival.
Ugh, none of those are the magic word. I'll go ahead and use another advantage, and I'll make it nature.
Cool.
I hit the wrong button. That's a different monitor, please.
No worries.
Oh, that's just wondrous.
All right. Unfortunately, you've only been in maybe a small handful of caves, and the ones that you've been in, you've really not studied or looked or paid attention to see what natural derived caves versus unnatural derived caves look like. So unfortunately, you have no idea whether this is like naturally occurring or not. You're just kind of taken in by the beauty of it.
Okay.
They say that they said they had the basilisk cornered off, correct?
That's what they said.
They burrow.
Well,
Indeed, they do.
what could they have borrowed?
That's not.
Burrow.
Yeah.
What?
Doug.
What would a basilisk want with a wheelbarrow?
Hey Barry, you want to take the charge?
I mean, By all means, if you think you can do a better job. No, it's fine. I'll press on.
I'll be honest, I'm not really liking this.
No.
Something feels off down here.
Well, the fact that we haven't seen a sign of a single living being or the sign of a single living snake monster thing is all kind of adding up to be bad signs.
Careful.
All right, I suppose. Just watch your back. Keep a weather eye.
Fitty, make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 22.
You feel something kind of like itch the back of your brain, an inkling, something curious, something eager to pick at you. But you kind of shrug it off and the chill sends down your spine, but you don't feel much else besides that.
I don't like that.
Don't like what?
Just a bad feeling.
Shine the cloud, bookworm. Let's go.
Yes, onwards.
Yonder.
Barry, are you in front this time as you continue to move forward?
Yeah, and Cassandra said I should take the lead, and, well, I think I rather should.
All right, perfect. As you now take the lead and move forward, you roll me a perception check.
Well, I'm very good at those.
Mm-hmm.
So as you take the the next corner, you kind of loop back around and find yourself exactly where you were standing just a couple moments ago. You have gotten turned around, and unfortunately, you are right back in front of that little gap inside the wall.
This
Uh-oh.
looks familiar.
Oh, does it?
All around me are familiar.
I think they used the same architect to design this bit of tunnel as the last bit of tunnel that we were in.
Really? That's your hypothesis, huh? Get the
All
fuck
right.
out of the way.
Yeah, I'll, yes, I think it's, I'll take the lead again. It is all the same to you.
Well, yeah, of course, if you want.
I mean, it can't hurt to have more than one set of eyes forward.
Indeed.
So, yeah, Vinny will take the lead again.
Perfect. And Finny, roll me a perception as you move forward. And while you do that, Barry, roll me a wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
So
Uh-oh.
you keep saying that, and I don't like it.
Don't like it at all?
Because I know the intent I have when I say that to my players, and it makes me not like it.
Perfect.
Perception.
Perfect. So as Finny confidently trudges on in Eva and Cassandra, or Cassandra in Eva's hand, kind of, keep moving forward. Barry, you also feel some sort of tickling in the back of your head, but this one is a little stronger. This one wants you to crawl inside the crevice of the wall. This one wants you to move fast and get there as fast as possible.
Something, I don't know what, but something is telling me that the fastest way to the Basilisk is to move quickly through this tunnel.
What?
I don't like this at all.
It just came to me. It was almost like someone else was thinking it in my mind, that we should go through this little tunnel here, quick as is possible.
A little bit of a tickle back of your head?
Something like that, yes.
Yes. Similar feeling washed over me, but I was able to shrug it off. I don't think that's a good idea, but I don't have a better one. can you walk away from that portion right now?
Can I walk away?
You physically can, however, the feeling and sensation over your body is physically pulling, like you can physically move that way. However, it's like that anxiety deep pit in your chest feeling of like, I can't leave this area right now.
Okay, I mean, I think I can, but I also feel like I'm gonna break out in hives if I do.
Something's back there. Something calling. Should we try? Miss
Why
Alamo?
not?
I mean,
Miss
I'll
Knox?
go on ahead. I've never had a problem with ragamuffins and monsters taking advantage of me.
What
Let's
would
go.
what would you say to splitting the party? Do you think that's a good idea?
Well, considering we're
It is most certainly
currently
not. And the fact that you thought about it was quite
Worrying.
worrying, concerning, definitely.
What,
I
you
was
mean
gonna
that
say
wasn't
no.
a serious suggestion?
Yes, I know.
I mean, I was halfway there. Like, one of us is bait, the other half is an attack team. That works all the time.
All
We've only
right.
got 2.5 of us at the moment. Extra.
It's not really
Well?
a split, is it? That's more of a division.
Hmm.
Here,
By the nines.
I'll go ahead. If worse things come to worse, I throw up a wall. I jump 50 feet in the air. I'll find something.
I've got your back. All right.
Please be careful.
Always.
Well, it's an adventure. Besides, who didn't want to hear about the tiefling who strode bravely into that night for the basilisk?
Funeral director.
Well, you sort of become your own tombstone.
I'm trying to put the fun in funerals. Let's go. And
Oh.
Eva will start like boldly moving forward with her lights starting to like dance around her dancing lights dancing around her a bit.
Yeah, so is Eva holding Cassandra moving forward and Finny and Barry going into the crevice in the wall, correct?
I think we're all going into the crevice in the wall.
Okay, we're all going. I wasn't sure if we're splitting the party or not. Okay. Yeah, perfect. So who goes into the crevice first?
I think Eva is.
Okay.
is what
So
she-
Eva, as you preliminarily go into this crevice in the wall, please give me a perception check. Alrighty, perfect. Cool. Came up on my screen. All right, cool. As you move in with your lights, you are immediately kind of like drawn back because the stature of this room is much different than the stature of the other rooms, where it is kind of like very smooth stone on the walls. This has very jagged edges. It's very aggressive. The terrain of this room is very rough and raw. And as you move into this space, the crevice now that is 2 feet opens up into a very large kind of circular oblong shaped room. And in the middle of the room, you see a couple stones, some blocks of stones. And around the room, you see like what would be sconces, but they are not lit. Sconces and braziers kind of line the room that are all kind of like caked in these spider webs and kind of have this like oldish feel to them on the bottoms. However, you don't see anything on the top. You don't see like any dust, any cobwebs on the tops of the braziers and where these things would be lit. So it does look like it at least was lit soon or shortly before you were there or not too long ago, but there are like cobwebs everywhere except for on the tops of these braziers and sconces. And then as you move in towards the room, you see that the slabs of stone in the center of the room also are not covered in any sort of cobwebs. Does anyone follow her into the room, or is she just going in alone?
Finny's right behind.
Okay. So those who are coming in behind you are also welcome to make perception checks to see anything else you may see.
I would
I will
love to do
hang
that.
back and watch our exit before I follow in, you know. In case
Okay.
someone's waiting for the three of us to dive into the tunnel and it's going to swoop down on us.
Okay. Make me another wisdom saving throw.
Oh boy.
Oh golly gee.
Wisdomers? Yeah, wisdom.
Okay.
Hey!
Cool. Alrighty, so as you're standing there, you still kind of feel that itch in the back of your neck, your head, and as people are going in before you, you kind of have that like waving of that anxiety. It's not as strong; it's a little more subtle, but it's still like lingering. You still get a lingering, uncomfortable feeling as everyone moves in, and Finny, as you move into the room, you see the same things that Eva is seeing. However, on the walls, you do see more carvings, and you're not quite sure exactly what they are at first glance, but if you go up and look at them more, you might be able to see what they are. And Cassandra, if you are still with Eva, you are more than welcome to make a perception check as well, if you are into the room.
Cash just sort of looks around, and she's like, "This is creepy."
Yeah, you're more so kind of distracted by just the general difference from the area you were just in to this one. There's still some of that bioluminescent fungus on the ground. You still see the lichen and the moss growing on the walls. It's still very dirty, but it is a very aggressively statured room. And Finny, as you continue to make me an investigation check if you are searching the things on the wall further.
Not very good at that, but I'll try.
Okay. You do see that as you you look closely at first and start to take your fingers and outline what seems to be another carving, but it's squiggly and moves very quickly. So you back up, and as you back up, you see that there are words, that there is some sort of statement, sentence, something carved into the wall. What languages do you know?
Draconic, Elvish, Primordial, Sylvan.
You do not recognize the language on the wall. And Eva, as you're walking around too, you now turn around and see Finny, as Finny is holding torchlight up, but kind of moved about 5 feet away from this wall. And you just see now this massive stone slab that is part of the wall with encryptions just like carved aggressively into the wall. What languages do you speak?
Unfortunately, only demonic and common.
Demonic as in abyssal or
Infernal.
infernal?
Infernal, yeah.
Okay. Cassandra, what languages do you speak?
Common, Elvish, and Abyssal.
Okay.
Oh, I forgot to mention I also speak Celestial and Abyssal.
Okay, then yeah, then you would read. You would be able to read the statement on the wall. And if I can find where I put that, give me 2 seconds. DM flump. All right. So as you stand there and kind of take an extra moment, you're like, I don't know this language. I do, and you kind of spark. And at that same time, Cassandra, as you are kind of looking into what now Eva is showing you, you also recognize it as abyssal. And it reads, "Here we are, so far below, where no sun shines and most won't grow. We gather here, our hearts forlorn, and give praise be for the wrought to be born."
Oh,
Is scratched into abyssal on the wall.
I don't like this.
Fuck me.
I don't like this at all.
I will follow the party through the hole. I was just hanging around, so I'll probably join last, like just climbing through.
Yeah, as you join in, you kind of see everybody gathered now at this wall. The dancing lights that Eva has kind of shining around it, and the torch that Finney's holding is in the air as, you know, he is kind of taking the scene in, and Eva's holding Cassandra up, and Cassandra, you can see the vial kind of shifting as she's looking at it as well.
Can Eva do like almost like a lore sort of check? Like maybe she's heard a story of a basilisk and whether any of this sort of stuff make like.
Yeah, you can roll me history.
Up. Cool. Because yeah, Eva's definitely very intrigued by all these symbols and things because she's starting to see. Damn, gosh darn it, Eva! What is with you today, girl? She's in a funk.
There was a great comment the other day. Someone dibbed roll 20, troll 20.
Oh yeah,
it is. It
yeah,
really is.
I feel it. I feel it heavily.
You kind of dip into your knowledge in bardic history, going through school, hearing stories, hearing tales, the bardic songs of generations past. And while no stories of basilisks really kind of, spark that in your brain, you have heard stories of cults, of people who have gathered to give praise to something when their hearts have been forsaken and they are lost and lonely in the world. Very sad ballad stories about losing loved ones to groups that cause infinite harm and sorrow. And that's kind of what sparks your mind. Placing it exactly, you're not quite sure, but that little stanza, that rhyming, kind of sparked that in you. You're like, I've heard something very similar to this before.
Okay, so this seems, this stuff is kind of ringing the bell. Barry.
Yeah?
How much did we smoke last night?
Finney is scouring his notes.
Only
And so is Anita.
some.
Finney, if you would like to make me a history check as well, you are more than welcome.
I would love to do that.
Mm-hmm.
21.
Cool. Yeah, you are recalling back to the information that you had received in the library a couple sessions ago where you were looking up rot, decay, corruption, deities in that domain. And a couple of them spark your brain immediately. You remember Bane, because Bane has a hand symbol. And you remember the orc god, Urtrus, who also has a hand symbol, and you're going through your brain and you're trying to remember the encryptions that you wrote.
Corruption and rot.
Yes.
The vague being that's nameless, stitched together through deception and guile to transcend humanity and life, undoing time, unending and unyielding.
Absolutely. And you bring it back and you recall these stories. Yes. You recall these stories and the things that you have read in books. And while bits and pieces of the elements that are here are ringing true to what you have seen, the bigger parts, this stanza poem, the stone slabs, the nature of the room underground is nothing that has come across your reading so far, and it's not quite piquing you in the way that you need. You pull from what Eva said, or trying to do an occultist check. You think about cults and you think about all these sort of different kind of divergent topics that kind of relate all to the center being, and you are still brought back to the fact that this is probably some sort of ritual chamber.
I'm definitely going to inspect the room a little bit more and try and figure out if this is a ritual chamber. What is the ritual pertaining to, using my knowledge of religion?
Absolutely, yeah. Roll me a religion check as you look around the room.
Oof.
All right. So as you kind of take a moment, everyone sees Finney kind of very like into the environment, kind of withdrawn from the social aspect of being around you all and in now their element and doing their research, what they have known for so very long. Kind of now go and assess every corner and inch and crevice of the room. While this is happening, what is everybody else doing just to get a beat? What would everybody else be doing?
Cassandra's just gonna keep her eyes trained on the entrance.
Cool.
I'm mostly looking absolutely fabulous in case any basilisk appear unannounced.
Perfect.
Yeah, and I think Baza and Eva having a conversation about how much did they smoke to the point that Eva can't remember one of her favorite basilisk stories. She's like, "Come on, man! Like, it's right here. It's like she's doing that. Like, it's right on the tip of my tongue."
I don't know what you were up to, but like
Absolutely.
Began with like a T, with like a T.
a tea ceremony, a tea junction, a tea cup.
I'll think of it later.
And as you do go and inspect the room further to try and suss out the nature of this ritual, you find yourself across the ritual table, is what you assume this giant stone slab is in the middle of the room. With that check, you do see that the iconography is very similar to the carving that you saw on the wall, the hand with something in the center of the hand. This time it's a little bit more succinct. It's a little bit more clear. And you do see that there is a mouth in the center of the palm. And as you go and slide your hands across to try and inspect further and wipe away some of the dust that is just kind of naturally settled, make me a Constitution saving throw.
All right. Nope.
All right. And as you do continue to run your hands across this stone slab, you end up finding a sharp corner and you prick your finger. And as you move across it very quickly, you see that you have sliced open the tip of your middle finger on your right hand, and you take 3 points of damage. Nothing crazy. You take a little bit of damage. It is a pretty decent slit. And as you kind of rub your fingers together, a drop falls right on the base of the pedestal.
Shit.
And immediately upon it falling, you hear, "Oh, hello, my child. How are you today? You have found me, yes? Have you been seeking me out for long?"
We all hear this?
Not you in particular.
You even know who I am, child. Such a sweet, delicious child.
I think I have an inkling.
An inkling? Do you dare not to know whose chamber you stumbled upon? Foolish.
With the palm and the mouth in the center, would that have stirred anything?
Make me a religion check.
Okay.
And make this one with disadvantage. And I'll use one of my disadvantages.
18 with disadvantage, though.
Ooh, nice. With the palm, with the mouth in the center of the palm and the hand, you go deep. You go deep back into your knowledge of everything that you have read up until this point. And you start to put the pieces together. And you start to realize that it's not Bane. It's not Urtrus. It's not any of these other deities. The deity that you have stumbled upon is Moander, the deity of rot, decay, and corruption.
Moander, I presume.
So you do know who I am. So delicious and fresh with knowledge. You would be a very fine specimen to take.
I
The hold is mine.
grasp the ring.
You think your ring will save you here? You are
Not
foolish.
the ring, no. Who it belongs to, perhaps.
Finny, are you losing your shit?
Don't pay any attention to them. They're not here for the same reasons you are. You seek knowledge, yes? You seek more than what you have. Right?
Not from you.
Then what makes you so sure it's not me? I am everything. We are everything. Don't you want everything?
I want a quick look. I want her sure.
Can we all hear this?
You can hear probably Finny talk.
Oh.
We're hearing just Finny talk to a wall, basically. That's why
Okay, I
Cass
just
was
wanted to
like,
double check.
Yeah,
I
unless
thought
Finny
that was
has
going
stood
on,
up,
yeah.
unless Finny has stood up, Finny is still crouched and like on the side of the pedestal, like almost inspecting it. And as he was inspecting it, pricked his finger and is now having this conversation.
Got you. I thought that was the case. I just wanted to double check.
I'm sorry, but I'm already promised to someone else.
Promises mean nothing to me. I get what I want, either now or later.
It'll have to be later then. And Finny's going to stand and try to leave the room.
Make me a wisdom saving throw.
Okay.
And make this one with disadvantage.
Yep. Thought as much.
This is fine.
This is fine.
Is it?
This is fine. Still 19.
Ooh.
As much as I
do
good.
I do a quick prayer. It's like
Okay.
me and Ava balance each other out. I do a quick prayer.
Like I told you, child, I get what I want either now or later.
Protect me.
And that's all you hear. Then the voice fades.
Guess we're leaving.
Shit, we leave. This is dangerous. We need to go.
We had to get a basilisk to transform Cassandra back into a thing.
Yeah, we can't just leave Cassandra like this. I mean, she'll never keep a cork in it then.
Ava, can you seal this room?
Seal it how? Like, you don't want people coming in or you don't want anyone getting out?
Nobody goes in, nothing gets out.
Oh, God. Seriously, Barry, I might need to lay down on some of that stuff for a while. The memory ain't what it used to be. Let's see. What have I got prepared today?
Eva, make me a wisdom saving throw.
Fuck me.
I hate them. I hate them
Oh
so
my
much.
gosh! What is with my rolls today?
Eva, you don't want to seal up this room. You fiendishly do not want to seal up this room. You think it is too important to seal away forever.
That is an altar to a very powerful, very strange deity.
But what about the people who want to get to that deity?
Nothing good. Rot, corruption, everything we've been trying to find. I think this might be part of the source.
Wasn't it a good thing we found it, though?
No, Ava, I'm sorry to do this, but I'm going to highly suggest you seal up that room. And I'm going to cast Suggestion. I'm going to try to overwhelm the will of a deity.
So excited.
Okay. What do you have to roll, Eva?
You have to roll at least an 11.
Please roll it with disadvantage.
So it's actually my spell save DC. Ava has to roll to beat it.
Okay.
If I'm reading this correctly.
What is your number? What is your spell save?
Minus 16, so.
Okay. Please roll it with disadvantage.
Or Ava would roll with advantage.
Oh, wait,
because Ava has to save versus my spell save DC.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so just make it a straight roll then.
Wisdom save, yeah?
Yeah. Imparted with my disadvantage is 1 straight save.
Oh,
which is a
the same
16.
roll anyways. So yeah, you save it, and that means that you...
Excuse you?
Apologies.
Maybe we just walk out and say this is an issue for later.
Okay, even if you did want to lock it up, I'm not entirely sure as to how I would. I
conjure a wall in front of that door.
I'll do it.
There you go. Done.
Is it a real wall, Barry?
I stuck my hand through it.
It is a minor illusion.
And as soon as it's cast and Finny puts his hand through it, you see the wall disappear.
Well, it's not going to last very long if you keep dispelling it like that, Finny.
Finny, when he casts that and you put your hand through, you hear that laugh again in the back of your head.
I made a mistake. We can't stay here for much longer. We need to kill this basilisk and get out of here.
Well, hopefully down with the basilisk means down with the culty tunnel thing.
Fingers crossed.
They unearthed something here. They unearthed something ancient and unknowable and powerful.
Minor doesn't seem to know too much.
No, they wouldn't.
How about we kill this basilisk and get out of here, yeah?
Yeah. Best bet for now.
Finny,
And-
you look quite shaken. Are you alright?
Made a mistake.
Okay, well, if you
I
want to talk about
miscalculated. I never miscalculate.
Okay. Well, that seems hard to believe.
Doesn't happen often.
Still, it's okay to make.
Most people who do all the math always forget about the chaos theory principle.
I take a little bit of bandage out from one of the packs and I wrap up my finger.
How in the world do you know what chaos theory is?
Hey, I'm an educated woman. What can I say?
I've hung around a lot of students. I've at least heard of it. It's got something to do with silly string.
All right. Forward.
Plus, when you live a life of chaos, you really need to understand chaos in order to be able to live the life of it. Otherwise, you're just going to be in a chaotic form of chaos, and that's not a form of chaos anyone wants to be a part of.
That's like out of character my entire life summed up in a couple sentences. So.
Literally was just gonna be like,
I was gonna say.
preach! Preach it! All right, so are we moving out of the room, out of the crawl space in between the wall? All right. So as you squeeze out, once again, you all, except for Cassandra, you all feel that weird tingle in the back of your head. And in Finny, once again, you hear that laugh, that maniacal, excited, corrupted laugh. And as you move out of the room and continue moving forward in the direction that you were originally, that feeling kind of settles in a moment, 2 moments. Now a minute passes and you feel like you are able to breathe again. That heavy weight on your chest is now filled. The tingling in your back of the head has now subsided. You are still left with a very uncomfortable, overwhelming energy feeling, but the physical feeling is gone.
You still here?
You don't hear anything.
Here, hissy.
I'm getting quite bored of waiting for this basilisk. Should I just make like a loud
Alright.
sound or something? Like, what did basilisk see? Giant mice?
And how does one make a loud mouse sound? Isn't this
They-
place quiet as a
The
mouse? Not
petrified
loud, isn't it?
remains of their victims, generally humanoids.
Oh, there we go. Can you replicate that sound?
I minor illusion a blood-curdling scream.
And you do that indeed. And with this blood-curdling scream, you all see that there are, it does kind of vibrate the walls of the cavern for a moment. And as you are kind of turning down as you do this, you see a very long hallway, about 30 feet in length. And it is just kind of another dark, moist hallway. This one has a lower ceiling. It is about another 10 feet. So it does dip drastically back down. You see the bioluminescent fungi and the lichen that have been growing on the walls kind of fades out as it continues on down this hallway. And as this blood-curdling scream lets out, you do hear some small, soft growls and some shifting movements at the end of this 30-foot hallway.
There you go. That way.
Thank you.
All right.
Progress.
And do you move down that hallway?
Yeah.
Yep.
Perfect.
Yep.
As you all move down this hallway, the hallway is about 10 feet across, so you can all comfortably fit. As you are walking and traversing down, you are now 20 feet down the hallway, and there is another 10 feet before you enter the next room. And in the next room, the growling and the shifting has become louder. And now you are hearing the movement and the steps and the like thud, thud, thud of a couple of footsteps in the dark corner of the next chamber. Are we continuing to move forward?
Do we cast invisibility now or later? Ow.
Maybe now, since we can just concentrate. Give it up.
Yes. Okay. Who's? Hang on a minute. We only really need to invisibility the 3 of us, right?
Technically, only one of us needs to cast it. For now, and when the other one can cast it later.
I think I have. Who wants to do 2 people and who wants to do 1? I could do 2 if you like.
Sounds good. I'll save my one. For later.
Are we
when
all
Cassandra.
speaking in hushed tones, or are we all talking in our outdoor voices?
Subtle
Well,
voice.
I was totally talking in a more
Yeah, I was gonna say
Regular
I have a
tone.
suspicion.
Outside voice.
Please all me roll stealth, and everyone roll a disadvantage.
Oh boy.
And I'll use all of my I'll use 4 disadvantages for that because I have a bunch. Ooh, okay.
Oh,
Ooh,
really
natural.
nat
Aw.
20.
Waste of a nat 20.
Rep.
Oh.
All right. That's all right.
All right.
I know.
1 sec. My computer screen is not moving, so I can't see everybody's. Okay. And you don't need to roll stealth, Cassandra, because you are a bottle. Moving forward, yeah, you are like kind of huddled. You are trying to speak in hushed tones, but it's not the most hushed tones. And as you continue to talk, you do hear that growling and that shifting become a little louder, and you hear a couple more thud steps, like moving in your direction now.
Eyes up, people.
Now would be good. Now would be good.
Yep. I lay a hand on Finny and we both turn invisible.
And I boot my nose and turn invisible.
Perfect. And as you are all now moving forward invisibly, you are more than welcome to roll another stealth check with advantage this time.
Ooh.
Are we all
Yay,
staying put, or are we
advantage
moving?
this time?
Hey!
There you
Oh my
go.
goodness!
I also am going to touch Finny and cast See Invisibility.
Ooh.
Oh.
Can you do that after you do after you cast it?
Are both
One-
no, one's not concentration. One's
This isn't
just
this is just
but one just says the target's self.
See invisibility is on
yes.
self.
So, invisibility can be cast on others. It's the See Invisibility. Then I
Yes.
will cast See Invisibility on myself.
Okay.
So with
Yep.
advantage. I said that was a waste of a
Hey.
natural 20, and then I got one.
And then you got one. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like as you move into this cavern, I will ask retroactively, what did we do with the lights? The torch specifically, because I know Eva probably, as she casts invisibility, the dancing lights would probably go out.
Finny would make sure to snuff the torch because
Okay. Just
Eva's
wanna
dancing
make sure.
lights were pretty good.
Okay, cool. Yeah, then I'll say on the way in, you kind of snuffed it and moved forward, but you all move forward extremely stealthily. And yes, you are now inside the Basilisk chamber. The three of you now having dark vision can see into this chamber. The beast itself is kind of moving and slumped. It's turned around at the moment. You see it kind of like gnawing on something in the corner. And it is about like 25 feet away from you in your northwest direction in front of you, and the entire room opens up. The cavern is about 30 to 40 feet across in all directions. It's kind of like this weird oblong, ovally type of room, and in the one corner, like I said, is the basilisk, and there are a couple large rock piles, some stalactites and stalagmites, but there is a very large open part of the room where the basilisk is, and where you are now is kind of like shrouded as you move into the actual room.
I would like to cast Minor Illusion.
Okay.
On the spot, 30 feet down the corridor, I'm going to replicate mine and Eva's voices, saying,
Okay.
"Why did you scream like that? I don't know, it just felt good. Damn, how much did you smoke last night?" And then I'm going to repeat the conversation that we had in the other room and just put that on loop.
Okay. When you minor illusion this, does it drop your See invisibility or your invisibility?
Neither. I don't think it's just it's not concentration or anything. I can keep that illusion up for 1 minute, and I can have, I think, 3 of those going at once, or is that prestidigitation?
That's prestidigitation.
That's prestidigitation. Yeah, I can keep that up for up to a minute. So.
Okay, perfect. Then yeah. So you conjure up this conversation in the far corner of the room, and as you do, I get to roll dice for the first time.
Yay.
No, the basilisk does not like wave off the distraction. It immediately kind of turns and starts to slowly stumble over to kind of investigate what it is. It doesn't feel threatened at the moment, but it does definitely hear something going on and starts to move in the direction. And now from northwest, it is now moving more towards the north direction. In front of you, it is about still 25, 30 feet away from you all, as you are all still in the opening of the room.
Is this side wall climbable?
You can certainly try.
If it's climbable, I have a climbing speed, cat claws.
Yeah, it's similar to the ritual room. It's rough and rugged. It's not kind of that smoothness. So you might be able to like rock climb it, like boulder it all the way up. So you were more than welcome to try with your climbing speed. Give me an athletics or acrobatics. I'll let you choose.
Before I go, I'm going to unzip my cloak, and being able to see everyone else so they can't feel me, I'm just going to put a corner of my cloak in Finny's hand. And then with the other half, start climbing. Did you say athletics or acrobatics?
Yeah, you can choose.
Oh, you are
if you describe to me how you're going to use it.
Well, I'm going to use my feline agility, of course, to stretch up first, then jump a little bit. My tail will stand on end as I find small precipices to land on with dainty feet. Shit.
And you do an okay job. You're not as gentle or dainty as you think. And at one point, you do kind of like your foot slips for a moment and creates that like sort of like cat claw down a mountain sort of sound. And you kind of like catch the basilisk for a moment, kind of like stopping and turning its head. And you stand still as you continue to slowly climb up. It's not averting its gaze back to the whispers. However, it seems to be like in between, kind of listening to see what's happening on your end, while all still paying attention to the whispers that are still going on for that minute.
So when I'm up, when I feel the cloak tug on Finny, I'll assume that's as high as I can go, and I'm going to lie in wait.
Perfect. Give me a stealth roll, just to see how well you kind of climb up and position
Gotta use
yourself.
one of those advantages. Gotta use an advantage.
That's
All right.
There's a smart guy.
Good thing you did. Good thing you did. Yeah, absolutely. You do an okay job. You think you're stealthy enough. You think your lying in wait is good enough to pass. What is everyone else doing?
Finny is going to prepare a spell for some sort of signal. We never really had a go word.
So you're holding a spell. What spell are you holding?
I am holding a spiritual weapon.
Perfect. Okay.
Straight above the basilisk's head.
Cassandra
Perfect.
would like to just look around and see if she can see anything, any petrified folk, anything that's she might pick up from the room. Just kind of case the room as best she can. Look around.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me. I'll have it be investigation.
Okay. Investigation. Baba.
Cool.
12.
Yeah, I mean, you are getting a great assessment of the space. You kind of are seeing the divots in the earth. You see the stalactites and the stalagmites and how they kind of weave this intricate space for you before it opens up into the big room, and how that could or could not be utilitarian to you moving forward in the process of slaying the beast. You're kind of getting a sense of the space, but not in a way that you had hoped for. Unfortunately, not being able to move at your leisure is really uncomfortable and inconsistent, so you can only get one perspective of the room at any given time unless Eva is actively moving you to where you need to be.
Yeah, for sure.
You start to see the basilisk now move away from that corner as the whispers die out, and turns around and starts moving generally in the direction of where you folks are, straight across from you. So now moving from the north direction to the south direction where you were all standing, if you're all still in that open space, besides Barry, who has climbed up on a ledge, you see it kind of moving towards you, and as it does, its nostrils begin to flare up, and you can see it kind of moving its head in a bobbing and weaving motion as its nostrils flare, and it lowers its head a little bit and sniffs the ground and starts to now move faster towards all of you. You get one round of movement or of actions. What are we all doing?
I would like to cast True Strike.
Okay.
I'm going to cast my spiritual weapon.
I'd like to wiggle my back, bum, and tail like this.
Yeah.
Cassandra,
Are you preparing a leap, Barry? Is that what you're doing?
Preparing a leap, yes.
Okay. And Cassandra, what are you doing?
Cassandra is going to begin her panic attack that will last until the end of the combat.
Perfect. Awesome. All right. So, Eva, you said you were casting True Strike. Does that entail anybody else or the basilisk doing anything, or is that a personal thing?
Yeah, it's just a personal thing that
Okay.
next round my attack will definitely hit.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Finny, you were casting Spiritual Weapon. Please tell me how that looks upon this basilisk that is about 10 feet in front of you now.
So the spiritual weapon appears in the form of a spectral lash and just whips down, cracks down on its head.
And I think that would break your invisibility, right?
That would break my
Yes.
invisibility. But it knows that we're here anyways.
Yeah, I rolled a very good check, and he has smelt you all. Or at least the conglomeration of people still standing in the front of the cave. So yes, your spiritual weapon, when you cast a spell, you can make a melee attack. Alrighty, so make a melee attack with... Okay, within 5 feet on a hit. Okay, yeah, make a melee attack.
Using my spellcasting ability modifier.
Yes, and I should open up the page to get all this information down for y'all. Alrighty, so is that a 22 to hit? Absolutely, It does hit. Please roll me damage and tell me, as this spectral whip cracks, what does it look like when it is dealing its damage? Is it just a whip that cracks, or does it have anything else that it does?
I think it's just the damage from what I'm reading.
Cool.
So 13 points of damage, and it cracks. There's almost like this rumble of thunder.
Cool.
And like the smell of ozone as it cracks down.
Absolutely. Perfect. And as it does crack down, you hear a wince come from the basilisk as it kind of rears up its head now and screams and kind of shakes its body and looks around and tries to see where everybody is. His perception was not great.
Finny is visible.
Yes, Finny is visible at this moment, but he does not see you right in front of him, unfortunately.
I pounce.
All right, and if that, okay, so your surprise technically is going to be a pounce. What are you doing with this pounce?
Well, I'm supposed to be covering its eyes with the cloak, but I've got quite excited about all of this, and I'm probably going to sink my claws into the side of its face as well, which would work as still cloaking, but bring out them.
Alrighty. Okay. Yeah. So, so as you do leap, make me an attack. I want you to do. Okay. So this would be your entire turn. I want you to make me an acrobatics check as you leap onto the back of this basilisk, and a strength check as you try to put this cape over its eyes.
I'd like to burn 2 nat 20s, please.
Absolutely. If you're gonna burn 2 nat 20s, absolutely, my dear. I will let you do that. So, as you leap onto the back of this basilisk from your perched ledge, you quickly scale up its hind back vertebrae area and kind of go up its head. And as you quick unfurl your billowing cloak, it billows in just the perfect amount in way to perfectly cascade itself over the eyes of the basilisk, and you can successfully tie it behind its eyes. Or behind its head. Unfortunately, the bottom of the cloak is in front of its eyes, and it is slightly billowing. So there are small pockets of where this basilisk is able to see. However, for the remainder of its time, it will be rolling at disadvantage. And that is your turn. And now we will roll initiative.
Straight down the middle. That's the best way I find. Straight old 10.
Okay.
B.
So 10 for Barry.
5.
5 for Eva. And for Finny?
5 for Finny.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay. So, Barry, what is your dexterity?
Better than my intelligence. Wow, it's 16.
Yeah, so you will go first.
I drop invisibility.
Mm-hmm.
I'm on the basilisk.
You are. You were on the back of the basilisk. You were hanging on by its like the back hind horns of its head, and as you are on it now, you are starting to feel its slimy body, and you start to like, as you're kind of gripping for a place to hold, you also see that lichen and that moss and some of that fungus that is growing on its back.
It's fucking nice, great blood. The best.
I'm going to hold my action in case the cloak is slipped away from its eyes, and shout to the rest of my party. I'm going to be holding a hypnotic pattern. If the cloak comes away from his eyes, I'm holding hypnotic pattern to use on it.
Oh.
I finally got the hair that's been plaguing my beard for the last 2 days. I'm going to yell to my party. Now, where do we get the basilisk gullet from?
Yeah,
Which bit
kill
of
it
it is
first.
left? Wait,
No,
what?
it means throat, Barry.
What?
Oh, by the nines.
We have to kill it first.
Up next is the basilisk, and as the basilisk turns and sort of sees now Finny in front of it. Finny, are you looking directly at this basilisk? No? Okay.
I'm trying
I
to
just
avert
want-
my gaze as best I can.
I wanted to make sure you
I
were
looked
doing
behind
that.
it to know where to cast the whip, but I'm just sort of like still keeping my gaze like down.
Cool, not a problem. Awesome. So yeah, it is going to kind of sniff the ground for a moment, and in its wake, going to try to do a bite attack on you, since you are the only creature it sees at the moment.
Fair.
Does a 24 to hit?
Somehow. Yeah, it hits.
Just barely.
Yes. Alrighty. It is.
Is that with
okay.
disadvantage because of the cloak as well?
Oh, I keep forgetting that the cloak is there. I am so sorry. Let me roll a disadvantage. I forgot his cloak was on his eyes. That is still a 16 to hit.
Still hits.
Okay.
Armor class 14.
I tried.
I'm
No,
not
you
heavily
did.
armored.
You did great. You get 6 damage, and 3 of it is poison. You are not poisoned. It's just poison damage. It's kind of like acidic in a way. It's more acid damage than poison, I should say. I don't know why I said poison. It's more acidic damage. It's not like really caustic, but it does kind of leave an uncomfortable, like irritating feel.
So
As
6
it- as it-
damage and then 3 poison on top of that?
No, 3 of that is poison
That's
or
fine.
is acid. I don't know why I wrote poison as acid.
It's fine.
But yeah, so you do kind of feel like this uncomfortable singe as it kind of bites down and grabs part of your forearm before you
Ow.
kind of like rip it, and it moves back. And that is gonna be its turn. Finny, you are next.
Me and Ava rolled the same on initiative.
I thought I wrote down everyone's dex. Maybe that was the wrong number. Do you have a higher dex than Eva? Who has the higher dex?
Mine's 13.
Yeah, you have a higher dex than me.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. That's what I wrote down. I wanted to make sure I had the right number.
All right.
You muted yourself.
Yeah, I know I did. I will bring the spiritual weapon down again with another crack
Perfect.
as a bonus action. Then on my action, can I cast a cantrip?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to crack down the spiritual weapon. My bonus action, 16 to hit.
16 does hit.
Okay. Why did? Ugh. All right.
Y'all who have like all of your intricate rolls in Roll20 always impress me because I can never get at, like when I make a character sheet, I always like struggle during this part to make sure it's rolling correctly. So I give y'all so much credit.
The compendium's your best friend for a while.
Yeah. Is 11 the damage?
Correct. 11 is the damage. And then, I will. Hearing, I will not be looking, so I will be rolling with disadvantage.
Yes.
Where the firebolt goes.
Mm-hmm.
16 hit still.
Absolutely.
DPS healer. DPS healer.
Preventative maintenance. 6
Yeah.
damage from the firebolt.
Perfect. So as you kind of like in this like weird, you're like, I need to look but I can't look, so you like kind of do one of those like, oh no, and look down as you make it crack the whip once again with one hand, and in your other hand kind of hurl out this firebolt in this direction. You're just like, oh, okay, it's over there. And it ends up ringing true, and you see it hit the shoulder blade portion of the hunched over basilisk, and it screams in pain as it starts to have some of the lichen and the moss that is growing on it singed away with this firebolt. And you see that it is not hurt. It's not hurt, but it is uncomfortable. You see it's now shaken and definitely kind of confused on what's going on.
Oh no. It looks like this is infected as well.
And
that's my turn.
Yes, that is your turn, Eva. You are next.
So you mean it might not be fully capable of knowing what its actions are either?
Much the same as Inkblot.
Who wants a new snake buddy?
Absolutely not.
All right, what's Eva doing? What's Eva doing in this moment?
Well,
If
then,
I'm not mistaken, Eva is still the only one who is invisible, correct?
I think so. Yeah. I think Eva's going to try and use sleep on the creature.
Okay. What does the basilisk need to roll?
Roll 5d8. The total is how many hit points of creatures this spell can affect.
So yes,
that's
Ava
right.
rolls
Yeah. You have to roll and see if 18, unfortunately, is not enough to affect the creature. So he does not fall asleep.
Darn.
Alrighty, and then we are back up at the top of the order. Barry.
Hang on a second. Let me just press enter
Oh.
on that.
Yeah, take your time.
So, Barry is looking around. He's not really very good at this fighting malarkey, but he does have some base instincts to go on, and something deep down in his DNA from ancient genetic relatives, something's telling him to scratch its eyes. And that's what he's gonna do. He's gonna get his catty claws and scratch at the eyes.
Okay. And as you are scratching his eyes, are you looking at his eyes, or are you averting your gaze?
The cloak's gonna be over their eyes still. I'm intending.
Okay, so you're going over the cloak.
I'm gonna ruin my own cloak, and I'm also gonna hold on to the horns and use my back legs to scratch.
Okay.
Like
roll me for an attack then.
That's a 6.
Unfortunately, the thickness of the cloak is a little bit too thick, and the nails on your feet are a little bit too short and not as sharp as you had anticipated. And you just create those little scratchy marks, like a cat, clawing at furniture. It shouldn't be. There's like those tear out marks. You're just kind of ruining your cloak at this moment, but there doesn't seem to be any damage caused to the actual
Mother did tell
monster.
me I should have got one of those scratch posts.
Making biscuits.
Yeah, he's making biscuits essentially on the cloak.
I want to make
and with
ferocious
that-
noises as well.
Yeah, with that, actually it is the Basilisk's turn. So the Basilisk is going to try and like shake you off its head. So it is going to roll to try and shake with disadvantage. Can't see shit. Oh wow. I got double 4s.
Hey.
So no, the Basilisk tries to shake you off, and you have such a nice tight hold from its horns and from putting your hind feet into kind of its eye sockets, where you assume its eye sockets are underneath the cloak. It is like struggling to get you off, but you are holding on tight. And as you are holding on tight, make me a strength saving throw as it is trying to also whip you off to see if you can. Yeah. Oh yeah, you definitely hang on. It's not moving it as fast as it could. You do hear, like, while it's struggling to kind of like shake you off, you do hear that heavy labored breathing that is very reminiscent in your very missed Displacer Beast friend that you had come across with the same condition. And moving onward, it is Finney's turn.
All right, I'm going to use my action to disengage from the creature and run around behind it.
Okay.
So that I'm out of the eyesight.
Okay.
And then I'm going to bonus action send down the crack whip again.
Absolutely. Yeah, and as you disengage and move around it now in the fray of combat, you do notice that its eyes are covered, so you feel a little bit more comfortable moving forward, making your attacks while its eyes are still covered. You're like, oh, I can look at it now. I can attack more precisely. Okay. And so you disengage, you move around and crack down the whip once more. Absolutely, it hits. What's the damage? Cool.
Nice.
13 damage. Correction on earlier, I rolled +8, so it should only have been 10 damage on the first roll instead of 13.
Okay, no worries. I'll just bump it up a tiny bit. No worries. Cool. Alrighty. And is that your turn? Cool.
That's me.
Perfect. Next is Eva.
All right. I think Eva, because she's used True Strike, she might as well go ahead and actually like attack.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So she'll use her loot as per usual. The new loot.
Yes.
The new fancy loot, and I guess smack it.
Perfect. Yeah. Make me.
Nothing like slapping a base on a basilisk, it's fine.
Yeah, slap at the basilisk, right?
Slap the basilisk.
Oh.
Slap at the basilisk. I don't think I've loved you anymore.
Welcome.
Strength, regular plain strength.
Yes.
Cute. May I use one of my advantages?
Yeah, I'll let you retroactively. I'll let you do that once.
Thank you. There we go. Yay!
Nice. Unfortunately, though, a 12 is not enough to hit. So as you try to swing with your loot, you realize that you are literally just inches away from it, and it whiffs. As you try to hit it, it moves its head, still trying to move Barry off of it, and you kind of like whisk past its head, but very, very close. Do you do anything else with your turn?
No.
All right. All right, so it is up to now Barry once again.
Oh my goodness, that was quick. And it's still blinded by the cloak. Good.
It is still blinded by the cloak, yes, and you are still hanging on with your hindquarters on its eye sockets.
I remember now, you're supposed to extend the claws. So I'm going to extend the claws and try a second and possibly final time.
Okay. Yes, a 20 does hit. Roll me some damage.
2!
Yay, it's something.
I think that should actually be
All
slashing
right.
damage as well, not bludgeoning, but there we go.
Yeah, cool. Not a problem. Yeah, so as you kind of now you're like, oh, come on. And you kind of like rake your claws in a little bit further and the already kind of like they're like half kind of in the cloak, and you extend them out a little bit further and kind of move down, and it does catch a little bit of the eyes of the basilisk, and as it does, you hear it roar once again and try to whip you off, and at the end of your turn, make me another strength saving throw.
Ah.
That is just enough. That is just enough to hang on. It kind of whips you, and like your hind legs kind of fly for a second, but you still have that heavy grip on the horns of the front of it, and you hold on, and you are still on top of the basilisk, on top of its blinded eyeballs. And we will move next to the basilisk, who is going to keep trying to, this time it is going to turn, and kind of, as it turns, it knocks its foot into one of the nearby rocks and just immediately assumes it's a rock, and it's going to try to headbutt you into the rock.
Oh boy. I don't like that.
I'm rolling double numbers all night. I just rolled a double 4 and now I just rolled a double 8. So even though it thinks that there's a rock there, it underestimates the trajectory and just like goes to slam you, but stops preliminarily before you hit the ground. So it's just kind of like trying to push you off in like a forward motion now, and not hitting its head on anything, and it's like still kind of moving and discombobulated. And you are still hanging on for dear life on this poor basilisk who is now blinded. Moving on, we are on to Finny once again.
All right. Now that I'm in a position behind the beast, I'm going to crack down with the spiritual weapon and throw the firebolt.
Once again, absolutely, yeah. So
this seems to be working.
Yeah, it seems to be working. So keep on keeping on. So roll me some attacks.
Actually, I think I might do something a little different.
Okay, cool. What are we thinking?
I'm going to cast Guiding Bolt, so that the next person that attacks it has advantage.
Perfect. Awesome. Great. Roll it up.
Natural
20. Nice. Okay. Roll me up that damage.
So do you want to roll double the dice or take the number then times it by 2?
I double the dice.
Double the dice. Okay.
Yep.
Anticid.
Oh.
Hey, all right. Okay. So that 34 is doubled, correct?
So you said do 2 times the dice, so it was normally 46.
Just want to make sure that you rolled the 8d6. All right, yeah, absolutely. Tell me how you would like to do this, Finny.
Just a beam of just like, it's not like most clerics where you'd see the divine radiant hell, or just like the light from the heavens. This is actually like soft, warm, like morning light that comes down and then just punches it.
I love that visual. So as this gracious, beautiful, gentle, divine light kind of shines down, all of a sudden it quickly smacks and creates this burst of energy, this burst of warm divine light. And as it kind of quells, you see the beast lay slumped, motionless on the ground. And Barry, as it like falls, it kind of does one of the chin things and then slides its chin out, and you just hang on continually. And you're just like, as it comes to a stop, you're just hanging on to the front of this basilisk still. And you have solved my basilisk puzzle.
I continue to scratch at it.
It's okay. I think it's done. Mr. Knight, are you all right? Oof. I think I was the only one that got hurt in that battle.
Is everyone okay? Here, I'm going to cast healing word.
And he does it right at the exact moment that Eva has already said here, and actually does cast
There you go.
healing word.
In sync as
For a
always.
slight moment, Barry, you think it was your magic. For a small moment, you're like, oh, it
He
was,
looks
and then
slightly-
you see Eva and her hand extended, and you're like, oh.
For a second, he looks slightly more excited than he should do.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, thank you, Miss Ambumo. All right. I suppose I should start excising this gullet. Cassandra, do you know anything about butchering these beasts? Surgery? Oh, wait. I think I do.
If either one of you would like to make me a medicine check.
I would like to open my healer's kit.
Yeah.
Are there scalpels or that sort of tools for... in
a healer's kit, you'd probably have like a scalpel, a pair of tweezers, like, just some like some humanoid sized things.
Mhm.
But yeah, you would find those supplies in the kit.
As Tafini pulls out his set of tools, I'll use a natural 20
Okay.
and just guide him on. All right, so what you're only gonna do is start in between the teeth. They actually separate as soon as the body starts to decay. The glands release the poison uncontrollably, and the flesh right there will rot. You see that little black spot right there?
Mhm.
Take your scalpel, cut down and around, and you'll just go against the grain, and it should cut fairly easily, or with the grain. Butcher.
Finny is going to use Channel Divinity for Knowledge of the Ages, which can tap into a well of divine knowledge as an action. Choose one skill or tool, in this case the healer's kit. For 10 minutes, I have proficiency.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Knowledge clerics.
Yeah, that's super rad. I'm about it. All right. So yeah, you have proficiency. I won't even make you roll them. So you follow Cassandra's directions to a precise T. And as you're doing this, did anybody have another light source, or are we doing this in the dark? Just for atmosphere purposes.
I feel like, probably Eva's dancing lights disappeared
Okay.
during the battle for the most part. Yeah.
Okay, so using your dark vision, Cassandra, it's a little bit difficult for you to see given this light, but you were close enough. Eva has put you down. I assume that you were being moved to help without them explicitly saying. So you've been put down to help, and even though it is kind of dark, you do assist her in such a way that she precisely cuts in the ways that she needs to, and you do find that yes, there is an incision on the jawline, and as you start to open up the glands, you do see that they are rotting at a faster rate than what Cassandra is telling you and what Cassandra has known before. And you, as you are opening it up, you do see kind of like that black ichor kind of spill out and the slime, and you do see like in the back of its maw where its mouth is, you do see some of that lichen and moss kind of overtaking the mouth, inside the mouth and the teeth of the creature. But you do successfully kind of get in, grab the oil gullet, and successfully retract it without any other issues or it rotting on you in the process.
Poor
and
devil.
you have successfully retrieved the oil gullet of a basilisk.
All right. Well, that's step 1. Step 2 is getting out of this godforsaken cave.
Yeah, that's problem I sort of tried to push to the back of my mind, but I suppose the bridge is here for us to cross now.
Into the breach.
It's the only way to go.
All right. And we'll make our way out.
Absolutely. I'll have whoever's leading the charge just make me one survival check for the way back.
Finny will helm that. 13.
Yeah. You do a pretty decent job. Once you like you kind of come back down that main hallway, and as you take the right, that led you to where you saw that fissure and went into that ritual room. It does kind of get very dark and ominous as you move through that area again, and you are extremely caught with that uncomfortable feeling, that tinge in the back of your neck. And once again, you hear that maniacal laugh of Moander that sticks so deeply and rooted, so ingrained into your being at this point. But you do successfully find yourself moving past it and being able to lead everyone back to the ladder that goes back up to the surface.
Mm-hmm. I clutch the ring tight as I go past the crevice.
When I gather my cloak, it's I imagine it's pretty ruined. I was tearing the shit out of it. So.
Yeah, at this point there's like a giant rip in like the center of it. You do see like those little biscuit made patches here or there that are gruff. It's in pretty rough condition.
I'm gonna look at it for a long moment.
If you get me a tailor's kit, I might be able to mend it. Perhaps turn that tear up the back into a nice slit for your tail.
Well, I don't need a slit, you see. It's, it billows.
Yes, but it might not billow after we repair it. Unfortunately. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry, Mr. Knight. I know you love that cloak.
No, it's no problem at all. Really.
I feel it's more the billowing he likes than the cloak.
Perhaps you'll find another to take up the mantle.
Yes. For a little while, perhaps this is a sign. Perhaps I should be a cloakless wizard for just a little while. A wizard.
The hat still is very dashing.
It is.
The presentation is still there.
Yes.
And do you all start traversing up the ladder?
Long way up.
All right. And it takes you another 10-15 minutes to all traverse back up. Some of you a little bit longer than others, just by a couple minutes, and how tired you are and how fatigued you feel. But you do make it back to the surface. And at this point, you do see it is the later evening. The sun is starting to come down. It's crusting upon that beautiful golden hour, and you see a lot of the other miners kind of coming out of the mines and taking equipment and putting carts back and kind of taking the materials that were in the carts and filing them away for the day and whatever sort of bins they need to be in for the operation of the mining camp. And as you come up, Grimmin, the foreman, kind of stumbles over to you and says, "Oi, did you do it? Did you slay her?"
Yes, but I wouldn't recommend going down that tunnel.
But did you find something else? Is there another problem that we got to take care of?
I don't think you can take care of it. I think you should seal up that tunnel.
Roll me a persuasion check. And do this. How do you do a straight roll?
I would like to use one of my advantages.
Oh, roll it with advantage. Good thing you did. He kind of looks at you and like intently kind of looks you in the eye, and you have that face about you, that emotion that is just like pure devastation and pleading and desperation in that moment. And he reads you very clearly, and he goes, all right, I'll get somebody on then in the morning, but okay.
Collapse it near the top of the ladder. Or just take down the ladder.
Perfect.
Don't go down. Whatever treasure you think you can find down there is not worth it.
Okay, I'll take your word for it, but the good thing you came along to let us know. It would have been a pretty bad sight, I guess, if we would have tried to take care of it ourselves.
Didn't this guy know about the girl that was turning to rot? Tuva, yeah. Yeah, okay, so you and your team, you all seem like fun guys. If you go down there, you might end up being fun guy.
Okay.
Tell me, did Tuva go down into that section of the mine?
Well, yeah, that was where we had the first part of our mining operation. That
Found
was
it.
where we were first building before we decided to move into the other shaft and find the Basilisk. Is the thing that turned her down there.
I believe so, and it's best that you seal it and be done with it.
Seal it and be done with it. Why can't we defeat it? Isn't that the...
You can't. Whatever's down there is ancient and unknowable. I wouldn't recommend it.
You've got to tell Hugo.
I'm going to. I intend on it.
Well, I appreciate you telling me. I'll get on that right in the morning. Unfortunately, most of the guys are off shift now, but first thing, absolutely. Thank you for letting us know. However, I'm not quite sure how to proceed if we should even keep excavating the other side of the mine. I mean, I guess that's a decision I need to make, but...
We'll talk to Hugo and we'll send word.
Thank you. Any advice he can give, I trust the man implicitly.
Oh. Okay. Yes. Do you happen to have a place where we can bed down for the evening?
Yeah, if you want to use part of the camp, you're more than welcome. There's a giant commoner's tent. You're more than welcome to bed down in there.
Much obliged. Yes.
And he kind of like looks at you and like tries to extend some sort of like warmth and friendship, but doesn't really have the capacity to with the information you've just given him. So he just kind of half extends a hand and then
or like the pat on the back.
Yeah, like tries to do it, but then is like, oh, and then makes him, and he just kind of like waves you off and says, oh, if you need anything else, it'll be at the green tent at the top. But I'll give you some space for the evening. There's food in the mead tent, and the large cream-colored one is the one that you're welcome to stay in.
Thank you. Well, I got us lodging for the night. Perhaps you can entertain some of these miners.
Do the miners look like they have money?
These look like dirty, poor old men who just got done with a very long day of spending it underground. A lot of them are talking or sitting in silence. There's not much revelry. There's not much camaraderie here. It's a lot of tired, old, bitter men.
Pick your crowds, I say. Let's take the evening off.
And as you all move towards the tent to grab food and beverage, whatever you may need before this evening is done, you find yourselves bunking up in the commoner's tent of this mining camp outside of this cave, where you have both unlocked more mysteries and answered questions, but maybe have a couple more that you need answered. And that is where we will end tonight's session. Yay! You have solved my basilisk puzzle.
Yay.
But more
Maybe
puzzles.
maybe Cassandra won't be a liquid for much longer.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love it.
We've proved we're smarter than the Basilisk.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Basilisk puns have been real tonight, and I've been living for it.
You know, this whole game is very punny, and I'm here for it.
So I need to create something in Barry's backstory where he knows a very stereotypical werewolf, because, like, you know, the kind that always changes in the full moon and doesn't have any control of it. You know, the whole typical stereotype, purely so that I can make a lycanthrope joke.
Yeah.
I like it.
Oh yeah, this is my bit, right? Yeah, hi everyone. Well, that was a okay, look,
I can take over if you want, I guess.
I'm gonna level with all of you, okay? I may have stayed up way too late last night drinking many bottles of something. Good times, y'all. Live, you know, pandemic. I saw a tweet the other day which I thoroughly agreed with. It said, it said we're all gonna just agree to like raise the bar on what we consider an alcoholic for this period, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yes,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I saw a meme where it was like annual or like average purchases of the normal income family, and then it said like alcohol just like skyrocketed during this time. I was like, that's pretty funny too.
Yeah, that's yeah, literally.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Definitely, coping mechanisms be coping mechanisms.
And I swear, like everybody's been enabling it with each other as well. Because you have somebody who's be like, it's still like early in the AM. I can't have like a drink yet. And everybody else is like, no, screw it. You're joining me. I don't care what time it is.
If there's one thing we've learned, time is fake.
Yes.
I mean,
Which is pretty much my
It's so
exact
true,
words at
it's so
3 a.m.
true.
yesterday.
Time doesn't exist.
Yeah. Yeah. So everyone, thank you very much for joining us on this fantastic little Basilisk-y adventure. We are gonna go on a raid. So join us for that. Let's go and share the love somewhere. But before we do, let's talk about each other and talk about our sponsors and tings. So check out our longest running sponsor, Mage Hand Press. You can find lots of amazing content over there. They've got a 25% sale on at the moment to support distant socializing. You can go and get all their PDFs with 25% off. Also check out the Deck of Many. You can see their Humblewood campaign on Thursdays at 6 p.m. EST. Also check out Hero Forge. Lot more stuff coming from them very soon, as we've just been given access to a new toy to play with. But I need to speak to them about how and when we can show it and stuff. So tee. Also check out Dungeon Fog, our newest sponsor, where you can go and check out all sorts of magical map making mayhem. And the map maker will create your notes for you as well. It creates DM notes as you type. We have credits. I recommend that you check out all of these wonderful people around the screen as the credits roll. I will shout out their links. They are wonderful. So please do go and lend them all of your support. Yeah, we like I say, we are gonna go on a raid. So I'll get a raid cry going in chat as well. Join us for the raid. Let's go and make someone's night. And until next time. Keep on evoking emotions. Bye.